Welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader for September 27th, a Thursday. Big day today. Again, Fed yesterday raised rates. Market was higher, closed lower, closed on the lows. Somehow they miraculously are opening higher. I think the market on the equity side has opened up every single day for the last 2 weeks. I don't know where we're going to end today, but I'm definitely not bullish. We sold the close out a little bit, but we're actually going to try to get bigger if by 10:30 we take out the lows of yesterday, which are about 07. So we'll put a stop in to get bigger at 07 before 10:30, then reassess. Overall, yesterday was a quiet trading day for me. I should have been more active. I actually missed selling the high of the day. I had an offer in at the high of the day, and we missed it. Would have been a really nice trade. Probably would have taken $8 out of it pretty easily. But the market, to me, feels not so great. A lot of this might be quarter-end reweighting. Yesterday's imbalances were very, very large on the sell side, about $3.5 billion. As always, with a minute to go, they pared it down to like $1 billion.
Right. Every tick lower before the market closed, that number shrunk because people were just going to the market before the close.
Yeah, either that or canceling or whatever they do. But again, I expect to see some heavy stock for sale over the next couple of days. People are weighted heavily long. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why we're up today. Again, going through Asia closed lower across the board in every market, anywhere from 1% to 0.5%. The European markets are slightly lower. DAX, which is still showing green on my screen, or as Mike would say, gray. I don't know why it's not red like everything else on my screen.
Mike's colorblind? Is Mike colorblind?
No, I'm actually colorblind, but that's not it. If you look at my screen, anything down is bright red, except the DAX. So anyway, we got to be careful when we're quoting that thing because it's in gray. Or it looks green to me, but Mike somehow told me it's
Your
gray.
software company is definitely long the DAX.
Exactly. Everything has to be green. So that being said, market's up 3, and I just don't see it. I don't get it. We'll have to wait till after the opening. I think a lot of this is Apple was upgraded by JP Morgan. They see 20% upside after the stocks run like 3,000 million %. You see another 20 here. So I don't know how. I got my iPhone within a day, so I don't think they're backlogged or selling out. But again, I'm just one customer. Overall, yesterday, we were short oil. We stayed in that trade for 2 days. We actually took about 50, 60 cents out. Happy that we did that. Happy that we're out. The market traded down yesterday a little lower than where we covered and then bounced $1 from there. Somehow there's a bid in that market. I don't know why, other than the fact is it's on 4-year highs and near the high of this move. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looking at bonds, they had an interesting day for sure yesterday. We ticked high yields on the 10-year at about 3.11, and where are we now, Mike? 3.05?
Yeah, flattening. So everything's flattening.
So we're at 3.05. There'll be some curve inversion probably at some point. Obviously, it doesn't have any market impact because for whatever reason, nothing does. And, still waiting for that elusive 1% day in the markets, which we haven't had in forever and ever and ever. Although hopefully it's coming at some point. And again, looking at oil, no position there. It's up 69 cents. May look at some options for tomorrow's expiration. No position now. The dollar is actually stronger. but it just seems like it's in the same places. It always is. I'm not going to quote the British pound because I'm sure it's at 131. And just looking at it, it is at 131.50. So again, it's been years like this. They get excited when we move one big figure. We used to move 7 a day, but now one big figure is a lot. The interesting one is the Canadian is back to almost 131 after getting down to 128 handle. I guess, again, who knows who's telling the truth, but Trump said that Trudeau wanted to meet him on the sidelines at the UN, and Trump basically told him no way, and then Trudeau came out and basically said it never happened. So who knows, but I want to just briefly, and we don't really do politics on this show, but I just want to briefly, I don't know if you got a chance to check out Trump yesterday in his press conference.
Yeah, I did. It was cool.
Holy cow. That's all I'll say.
If you read the reactions, it's people are, half the world are like, did he just, like, one of the things he said was like, people love China. People used to love China. They don't love China anymore. I love China. So half the world focused on, one side of the aisle focused on, did he just contradict himself in 15 seconds? The other half, the other side of the aisle was like, yay, he's pro-America. And I'm like, it's like, it's great for, I think it's great for trading. And it's good for comedy.
I don't even think there is trading on that. I mean, it's honestly... not on that statement itself. You're always saying no to me. On that statement itself, no. But he says he has created the markets for the last, his Twitter account is responsible. Listen, if he was creating the market, we'd be down 25 handles right now. Okay, minimum.
Okay.
After that.
All right. I stand corrected.
I'm just saying, I just don't think anyone believes or, cares about that guy. The guy was literally sweating profusely. Okay, I left my office. I watched about 40 minutes of it in my office from 4 to like almost, actually probably more. I drove home. I got home. The TV was on in my house, and the guy was still on. And he went for another 40 minutes, and he was sweating like a pig.
Right.
This is the president of the United States screaming and yelling and sweating. It's like you honestly can't make it up. So, there's nothing to say about yesterday's press conference other than it was disgusting. It's honestly.
Well, I mean, he is running the country. I mean, it's very difficult, but he's actually governing through populism, and that necessitates him getting out there and riling people up, even if the people with cooler heads are laughing at him. The populist thing, I don't know how it's working, but we'll see how the midterms turn out. Right? That'll be the important part.
He is going to get blown out in the midterms. Blown out. It's going to be a blowout. Okay, but
then you should buy stock. Then we should buy stocks.
I don't know. Actually,
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm very bearish.
If he doesn't get blown out,
I'm very bearish the market here. I'm not looking at the next day or hours.
Understood.
I'm saying over into year end, and I just the guy just is mystifying, and I think today will be interesting on the Hill. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
So let
me ask you this.
Focus on trading.
This guy Kavanaugh, just 1 second. He has his calendar from 1982.
I know.
What's wrong with this guy? He's like pulling out hey, look, I had Beach Week in 1982. Wow, I went to the Jersey Shore. Amazing. I mean, come on.
He has a calendar from 1982, number one. Number two, way off base, but do you remember day timers and day planners?
Yeah.
Remember those things, those stupid books that everyone carried around?
Yeah.
Apparently he wasn't cool enough to have one of those. So he is so geek oriented that I think that might actually be a real document he has there.
I don't
Beach week.
listen. I mean, come on. I mean, what? Why would he even pull that out? Like, what is the point? Oh, listen, I wasn't with the girl. I was at beach week. I mean,
Well,
come on. This
let's
whole
say you even
thing.
have that calendar. Where is it that you could find it so quickly?
I have some clothes in my closet that might be that old. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
But it's just the whole thing is it's going to be fun to watch today. Markets are extremely interesting. They're at critical levels here. If the S&P breaks yesterday's low at about '07, I think the market could whitewash down below the figure. I think there'll be some stock for sale coming here. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see how everything sort of plays out at these levels. Today is not an option expiration. This straddle is pricing pretty high for tomorrow, but it makes kind of sense because the bottom line is, the market should move off of the mark of what they want to do for the close tomorrow. And the straddle's pricing about 16 and a half. It was 18 this morning when I walked in, so it came in a little bit. S&Ps are calm, up $3. Again, we are short. That's our only position. We will average that trade and get bigger if we go down. A little pissed off in a way that we missed yesterday on the high. Again, I wouldn't have taken 30 out. We probably would have taken 7 or 8. But overall, that's sort of what I'm seeing. I'll throw it to you for your thoughts. And I know that you had, we were talking off the air, we were talking about the correlation between gold and silver and, these industrial commodities.
I think it's interesting, not in a precious metal sort of way, but when the whole trade war thing started, and a little before that, all the precious metals sold off, and all the industrial metals sold off, and as we were talking about earlier, the last couple of weeks have been an absolute explosion in commodity indices. Sans gold, which is not a commodity for this purpose. It's not industrial. So you actually are seeing silver, palladium, platinum, copper begin to follow oil higher now, and I suspect. Although I'm not going to say get long gold, I'm actually going to put on a short trading gold this morning on a system. But I suspect that you're seeing shorts start to cover, possibly in anticipation of some sort of a favorable closure on the trade wars. But the reality is the yuan has stabilized more or less, and I think that's a go for China to start buying. So industrial metals are rallying. Silver is industrial as well as precious, and they're now following oil. And I think that's interesting. Call it inflation, if for lack of a better word.
Okay. I mean, I don't really focus on silver. I haven't traded in a very long time. My focus is more on gold and oil. What's interesting? Do we have a price on soybeans by any chance, Mike? Is that the low of or 4%? Because I don't know. Trump was making a statement yesterday that the farmers are doing amazing, and look at how high these prices are. And then someone put out, I saw, and said that these prices are crushed. So I mean, I don't know what to believe here.
He was countering the whole China taking out an ad in the Iowa paper appealing to farmers, and so basically he was governing through populism, saying our farmers are great and soybeans are doing great, and maybe they're subsidizing these farmers, maybe the farmers will sell to someone else, but it's just marketing, in my opinion. It's not to say soybeans won't go up, but China is buying their soybeans from Argentina now. Until as much as they can, and they will continue to buy soybeans from us even through a trade war. But he's just countering the rhetoric by China in that Iowa newspaper, I think.
Yeah, I don't know that as well. The interesting thing is I was reading something and they were saying that we're selling to other countries and they're buying from the other countries, so it's the same. I guess it's kind of the same thing. So, but overall, I don't see much. The emerging markets, which looked like they were going to have a little bit of a leg up, didn't really follow through, and didn't have a leg up. So, we're on an island by ourselves. I'm looking at the FANG as all bid this morning, anywhere from 40 basis points to 2%. Every stock is up. If you would have told me this last night, I wouldn't have believed it after the close. But one thing that I've learned, and it's important for people out there, is for whatever reason, every day is different. Every day is bullish, and
Right.
and no matter what, they try to buy them. This will not end well. I don't know if it's going to end today. I don't know if the high's already in for the year, but things to me don't look so great. And you have rates really pumping up, and there's a 95% chance that he's going to raise rates again before the end of the year. I think the Fed funds are pricing 95, which is pretty amazing. Coming out yesterday, and I don't know if you were trading equities or looking at the equity market, but it came off pretty hard at the end.
I was watching who was selling and who was buying. So the algos were buying, and the dark pools were selling after the FOMC. So it's just further confirmation to me that the algos are basically dumb brokers executing orders, and I think the smarter money is now either getting out of their way or selling before them. I'm just saying it's another comment on active trading by human beings. I think taking over algos. I mean, it's a fact. It's out there. The buy side liquidity was all algos on the way down, and the sell side liquidity was the dark pools. I have charts on that as well. That's what I was watching, but I don't know if that's what you were getting at all. But
no, I mean, I don't know who's buying. I think everybody's buying and selling all day long, but I think you're right. The algo is set to the buy side every day. So
right.
and they just keep buying and buying and buying, and in a day like yesterday where it gets away from them, then they have to puke it so hard, and that's what causes the bigger move. And then the next day they come in and they're buying again. How do they have so much money? How do they have relentless amounts of capital and everybody's doing the same trade? Literally everybody. It's like everybody's buying and running in front of orders, and it's it's funny. It brings me back to Tillery, that cannabis stock that ran at 300. A friend of mine was telling me, like all these algorithms do is they get to see the orders before they hit the floor, and they run in front of them, and they have 76 buy orders, and they run in front of the 76 buy orders. They make them go to the market, and they jam up and jam down the market, especially in the liquid name. So I don't know how they're able to get away with that, but that goes on every day of the week,
Yes.
So, and what else is there? Stocks again are up. Then taking out the FANG, nothing's really moving. It's all FANG related. They love them. I guess it's a mark for the end of the quarter. I would have thought they would be selling them to get out and reduce the size of the positions, because if you're long Apple and it's up 25% for the quarter, you now have a 25% bigger position than you had coming into the quarter, and you probably have to lighten up the position. But at this point, we're not really seeing that. Volatility is slightly lower. It's interesting. I actually am looking at October volatility futures, the VIX futures, and they're pricing in about 1440, 1430, and the VIX is at 12. So I guess they're expecting, another wave down, over the next period of time. But I just don't think we can stay this contained for this long. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oil is strongly bid today, up 77 cents out of nowhere. It's interesting. I don't know if you watched it. Out of the gate last night, it was up like 60 cents, like out of nowhere. and our
I think
markets.
we got to start looking again at regional buying. Like all right, I'm not talking about stocks, but buy buy American stuff on the China Open and sell it on the American Open. Let's see what happens. I mean, that's what happens in the ES last couple of days. That's what's been happening in metals. Maybe we're seeing some national buying on the China level. I don't know.
Gold's been sitting around this level. It's on the lower end of the level right now. As we speak, it's making a new low. It probably trades back down to the opportunistic trader low that night.
That's right. The OT low. I agree.
Let's see.
I think it does.
Let's see if it holds in. We'll see if it holds in. But overall, market looks a little bit quiet. I expect a busy day today. I cannot wait till 10 o'clock when they're on the Hill grilling this guy, and the whole thing is crazy. And then I think the one woman is testifying, but again, the whole thing is a little bit crazy, and I think it'll create a little bit of volatility, and you'll probably hear from Trump again at some point. But going back to the press conference, I mean, I've never, ever seen anything like that yesterday. Never.
I know.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you know what? You said something interesting, like populism and whatever. But here's what I kind of think it is, okay? He just tells you everything is amazing. No matter what it is, it's the greatest, the best, the biggest, the best. I mean, he was saying stuff yesterday that was crazy. I mean, he's like, this is the greatest economy of all time, and da 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 da. I mean, the guy hasn't even been in office for 2 years. I
know. Wait, what's the phrase? In you're talking about yesterday's speech. I'm going back to something. I think he said at the UN. The first 2 years of my presidency might be the greatest of any presidency ever.
Right, and you've had presidents like Reagan that were there for 8 years. Don't worry.
My God, George Washington. Washington.
Right. Right. I mean,
he's a marketer, and you know what?
But I gotta tell you something. I mean, I guess. Listen, and it kind of, I guess, makes sense in a way. It's like, why not tell everyone they're doing amazing and everything is amazing and it's great and it's the greatest and the biggest, rather than tell people the truth about anything?
Is it not the logical extension of the last several presidencies? He's just taking it to the nth degree. He's just, he's not even using big words to say it anymore.
Obama was in the presidency for 8 years, and the last 2 years you didn't see the guy. Okay, I mean, this guy is on every day. I mean, yesterday he went for 2+ hours.
I know.
And I don't know how he's going to backpedal from this guy, but we'll see. But
he is starting to show some age. Your comment about the sweating, I was noticing his eyes were puffy, and he was sweating
like he was a grease pig running a marathon. It's crazy.
Last I checked, presidents are human.
No, yeah, but I don't know about him. I mean,
nah, that guy's not. But we'll see what happens today. It'll be an exciting day on the Hill. We're short S&Ps. I'm feeling okay about it. I'd like to add more on the downside. If we do fail this morning, it would mean that we will trade lower. Other than that, everything looks kind of quiet that I see. I mean, the dollar is actually strong today.
Yes.
60 pips on the euro. Overall, it looks strong. Other than that, other than the Apple upgrade, I don't see much moving. Amazon's back to 2,000, where it always is. And we'll see today what the market brings us. But quiet overall, and that's it. Not a lot to talk about today.
If I could just interject the politics stuff, regardless, I don't think. I want to make sure that the audience knows that we don't have an opinion, politically. We're just amazed at the rhetoric that's being flung on both sides, and looking for trades to come out of what political people say. Look, half the country and more is behind this president, and he's he may be doing things that are questionable to some people, but to other people, he's also doing things that are protecting America's interests. And we're not political here. We're just. I think all politicians are the way they are. Just
Well,
Trump makes it
I would
easier to pick
correct
on
you
them.
in saying that maybe half the people are behind him, but he didn't receive half the votes. And yesterday he threw out something that was hilarious. So he goes, "I won the women vote. 51% of women voted for me."
Right.
What he failed to realize is that wasn't true. 41% of
Well,
women.
that was that was 51% of the white women vote. 41% of all women vote overall.
Right.
But I don't want to alienate our own people here. We're just.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's just bizarre. He throws out whatever he wants to throw out. It's crazy. But anyway,
Well, he has destroyed the press successfully because they've kind of destroyed themselves, and so there's really not much to challenge anymore, or anyone of legitimacy to challenge him. You know what I mean? Like CNN and the left side with the fake news concepts, they've shot themselves in the foot so many times that it's a war of two equally inept organizations.
On the market front, we have durable goods coming out in 3 minutes, Q2 final GDP annualized coming out in a few minutes, and weekly jobless claims. Also, it looks like dollar has continued to pick up, like you guys were talking about. Euro's now under 117. We're at the right near the low of the day, 116.96, and dollar yen creeping back up just below 113. We have the chart up on the right-hand side. You can see since 6 a.m. we've rallied from 112.60 up to 112.95 here. So we'll keep an eye on that with the data.
I'm going to be selling gold right now with a stop at 12:06, just at actually 11.99. Okay, so that's something I'll be doing right now.
That's exciting. I like that, Vince. You're giving it live on the air. Beautiful.
It's you can get long because frequently there is. I have a momentum system that trades a market with no momentum. You do the math.
I gotta move you into S&Ps, but
I threw up a chart in the Q&A for subscribers and for yourself about who the buyers were and who the sellers were in terms of algos versus dark pools. It's kind of interesting that the algos definitely lost money yesterday. So anyway, it's 8:28. The numbers coming out. I'm not sure what to say from here.
no, there's nothing. We'll watch the tape. We'll be back to you, everyone, before the opening. Today at 9 o'clock, Joe Vaklovic, Standard Grain, joins us every day with the Ag Report and Overview. At 10:30 today, I'm lucky enough to have David Floyd of Aspen Trading discussing FX and macro themes. I'm very interested to hear his thoughts. He's a very well-versed guy in the market, been trading a long time. And then at 11, we have Bryn Kelly from the Fundamental Angle. She is our electricity and energy, natural gas focused analysis. It'll be interesting to hear her thoughts on those markets. And then at 12 o'clock, we have Angie Seltzer of Citizens Elevator talking about ags again. Very well versed in the space. And then at 1 o'clock, we're going to have your replay of your macro and gold morning report. And I'll be on the chat through the day and also through the audio to you. I think the numbers just came out or they're about to come out. Sure, GDP is off the chart. Because it's Trump. he said, "Listen, that 4% GDP,
Everything
pump it up to 5."
Pretty much in line. Actually, durable good orders are higher at 4.5%. They were expecting 2%. The final GDP came in at 4.2 versus 4.2.
Do you know that we have the highest GDP in the world?
trade balance as well.
Vince?
Jobless
Yeah.
claims a touch higher.
I said
came
we
to
have. Trump
214.
said we have the highest GDP in the world.
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge.
So
All right, I'm
anyway,
short gold now. It can go up. All right. I'm
I
short gold. It can go up.
don't see much going on. I am bearish S&Ps. I do think they're going to take the low here. You know, obviously it's hard to do that, or harder to do that with Apple being up so much. But if Apple comes in $1.50, you know, market could get hit here. So we'll keep an eye on it. The numbers were not really market moving. I see somehow oil moved up a dime, and the currency actually looks like they took another leg lower here, and the bond market is flat. So not a big reaction, and we'll be back to you guys unless you have anything that you want to add off of this. We'll be back to everybody pre-open here.